It's very difficult, to stay unexcited.
I don't think the danger is involved. There's a lot of skill and technique. Once you see, like I've been in the car with Dan Gurney, and I see his skill and technique, and I can see how he really minimizes whatever danger there is. I didn't feel scared at all with him. He went around much faster than I did.
The pit stops were something like a three-ring circus, with everybody cheating like hell. Parnelli told me that there was a rumor going around that Al Unser dropped 8 pounds out of our back tires to slow us down, but we were still in there running, trying hard to hold on to our brilliant position. 6th place in a 7-car race.
I'm watching these guys. I'm going to get killed. Are you going to repair? It's dinner. You think you're going to win it?
We're ahead of Carter!
Dick Smothers and Bobby Unser, teamed in car number 3, were going great. After 2 spin-outs, they managed to come back into 2nd place, chasing Pete Conrad. It started looking like a real race, except some of the guys were cutting corners, shortening the course by as much as half a mile. And, well, I would have been doing the same, except Parnelli coasted in for the last pit stop and banged me on the helmet and said, "You got a little problem here, Buster. No transmission and no clutch."
I'm down, but I ain't out.
Hey, what happened to Paul?
He blew up or something.
He was standing down the first turn with his thumb out.
Well, there are the winners, Dick Smothers and Bobby Unser, in the first annual Ontario Celebrity Pro-Am race. But I finished anyway, bummed to ride in a pace car and finished dead last. Nobody else could claim that.
The Motion Picture and Television Relief Fund is to be a benefactor of these proceedings here today.
In some kinds of racing, women are still barred from the pits. But in sports car racing, in Can-Am and Formula One, to mention a few, the girls are doing their thing. Without complaints, keeping time charts, clicking stopwatches, running for sandwiches, whatever. We love them. We wouldn't have it any other way. How do some of the drivers feel about it? Mel Kenyon, for instance.
Without an understanding wife, a guy just couldn't do this.
Lynn, you're married to Jackie Oliver, who's a pretty quick man in the Grand Prix circuit. Do you ever talk about the danger at all together, or do you kind of sit on it, or the wives talk about it, or what?
Yes, we do. We talk about it amongst ourselves, but we don't really talk about it to our husbands because we know they're going to go on racing. And this is what they want to do, this is what they're happy doing. There are problems and they're under tension, so you control your own problems and tensions. And 2, you have to face facts, and it might possibly be the last time you see a person when they go out to race, so you don't bother to argue, you're nice all the time.
One wife next to me started screaming and yelling, and I sat there and I got scared, and I never was afraid before.
The best thing one can do is make sure you're really well financially secured.
You have to let a boy or a man do what they want to do.
Paul says it isn't really racing. But I always wonder what happens if he's going 170 miles an hour out there and something breaks.
I'd like just a few more hours alone every day.
You get to all of them.
I beg your pardon?
You go to all of his races.
I didn't go to all of them over here this summer, but in general I go to all the races. Mostly, yes, I try to go to as many as possible. It's much better to be at a race than to be sitting at home waiting for news of a race.
In racing, for the man, there is nothing else but the action he lives in and controls. For a woman, it's a very different thing.
gentle fall. When it calls, my man will go. He'll spread out his wings to the sun, and when he runs, I will follow. When he goes, I will go. The wind has come for him again. Where he goes, I know I'll follow. The wind is come again for him.
This is a start-finish line, the beginning and the end. Doesn't make any difference whether it's painted on asphalt or drawn in dirt with a stick. It's become a symbol of our civilization. That great divider between the winners and the also-rans. Yesterday, who would have thought that the Earth would have been the start-finish line in our race to the moon? I don't know. Sometimes I think that a line is drawn, and then some people get off in a corner and figure out just what the hell they're going to do with it. It might be said that the human animal is a very competitive, escalating beast. And it all starts very simply, trying to beat the kid next door. The annual Soapbox Derby at Akron, Ohio. 300 boys from all over the world have built their own cars to race just like the big guys. The Derby is attended by some well-known guests. James Drury, astronaut Dick Gordon, and the race MC, Lauren Green.
Send the very best regards to all of you, and our best wishes to all the champions who are here from all over the United States. The flag is at the ready. Then they're up!
This is that wild, wonderful flight of imagination at work. It's finding our way into our own mind. It's our first car. It's being alive. And if you're a weekend racer, you can find it anywhere.
I kicked off my shoes and felt the good earth under my feet. I loosened my tie and felt what it feels like to breathe. I found the secret to life.